What are you guys working on?
We are working on building an avenue to be able to kick off small business in America.
Okay.
By getting them access to capital on a grassroots level. So
this is the MicroVC game. Nice.
We started out as a MicroVC, and we've moved on to micro lending essentially. But we're more than that. It's allowing people to build their dreams.
That's good. You know, I'm actually working on a very small MicroVC thing. I found a guy. I want to do text analysis for transcripts. So there's lots of cool APIs out there you can leverage.
Yeah.
But I don't really want to pay a coder in the U.S. Sorry, I don't want to pay a guy in the U.S. like $125 an hour to figure it out. Yeah. So I found a guy in Bangalore for $10 an hour.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're like, basically we're probably a burn rate. We're about $600 and we have the thing almost done.
Okay.
So that was a good example where
$1,000
would have achieved that. Unfortunately, we took that, we outsourced it. But I mean, that's the reality of where the web is right now. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah. I didn't want to do that.
But there are resources here.
Well, there are, but
there are resources here today that are within that price range. If you're willing to let them kind of come along for the ride.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Come along for a ride is VC's way of kind of saying.
No.
Like I want to come back later on. I'm going to take your son away. You know, that's.
No, I'm talking about a resource that wants to participate when you grow that idea.
And that would be nice, is that if you could find people who are basically hungry to create.
You got it.
Right.
You're in the right spot.
Yeah.
You're just in the wrong group.
This is the room.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
It's more than that, though. Yeah. We also provide people that are interested in lending the money the opportunity to do that also.
That's right.
Yeah.
We normally wouldn't get the opportunity to get in on
transparency, a lot of information, background checks, without having to actually do all the research.
How many of you guys are VC in the room? Any VC here?
No.
VC people here?
Nope.
All right, now there's a point where you probably would want to get some opinions on from the VC folks themselves to find out.
We'll take their advice.
Yeah.
Do you know any that are around?
Not really. I figure in this building there's got to be a few. But that's something I've always wondered about. Like, what is in it for the VC? I figured there's got to be some kind of kink in them in the sense that they want to.
We're not doing VC though. We're doing the people who are not at the VC level.
Right.
They wanted to turn a maximum leverage of their money.
I agree with that, but
by grouping together with others.
And I'm throwing out a possible pattern in that. What makes those guys tick is somewhat similar to what you're trying to do, which is they don't do it just to try to reap massive profit benefits. They're also doing it because they want to go and make more stuff.
Yeah.
So I figure there's a theme there.
Right. One of the big problems that I see VCs having is that their success rate is so low. And one of the qualifiers they have is, what are you doing already to make it successful, right?
Yeah.
So if you start off on a some sort of example or some kind of test case for $1,000, you can probably start heading that direction.
Yeah.
So we're almost a qualifier for VCs.
Yeah.
We're like the farm league for VCs.
Yeah. And what's really yummy about that right now, I think, is that it's the barriers to make stuff are like next to zero.
Right.
As far as, you can leverage so many either APIs or code or Mechanical Turk. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Mechanical Turk, but that's right up your alley. That's the thing that we pitched last year.
No, but we'll look that up.
We'll look that up. You should look that up. Crowdsourcing online, that's a big theme, right?
Right.
All right, so here's my question. Where did you guys fail this whole weekend? And I'm talking about failures as far as working together, understanding the team dynamic. So-and-so had a huge ego. I had a hard time working with him. We totally got this idea wrong. Are there any failures? Be honest.
I think the worst thing that has happened this weekend is I've completely fallen off my training program and I totally indulged on the donuts. And I'm being quite honest because
it's kind of a lame failure, though. Come on, is there any other?
No. It says a lot because I think we've been working well together.
The biggest failure we had was identifying what the lending actually looked like.
Yeah.
Okay.
And once we identified that, where we identified it as a note and not something else, that's when we suddenly took off.
Yeah, we got out of the equity business, we got out of the microloan business, we got into a third-party facilitator of note transactions between borrower and lender, and that enabled us to then start scaling the business up because we didn't have to worry about the fiduciary responsibility and the legal requirements.
Okay, you guys got yourself out of that
Right.
basically nasty place.
Yeah, well,
The other failure we had,
the SEC requirements that
Yeah.
were faced by the group last year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the other failure we had was probably, we could have probably done a better job of recruiting if we understood what we would need for the final presentation.
Sure, sure.
We've got one web guy, Cameron, that he's not actually even here. So if we could have gotten that going,
Okay.
if we could have lined up, if we knew that we needed to talk to VCs to line that up.
Okay. What about a place where you rocked it out? Where'd you rock it out?
I think it's the collaboration, the teamwork, the openness of ideas.
Cool.
The vetting process that has allowed us to get to the point
The
where we're at.
elaboration of the business model. I mean, we've got
Yeah.
a lot of different
Yeah.
legs to this stool, and I
Cool.
think any one of those legs might falter, and the rest of them are going to pick it up and make it run.
All right, that's it.